Everybody, I am back with another video, and in this video I've been noticing the farms agriculture in the Midwest of the United States are being devastated by the weather. Some think it's hot, but it's not hot. It is Mother Nature cleansing herself. For one, this picture right here, let me click on this picture right here. You see, the Midwest flooding has killed livestock, ruined harvests, and has farmers worried for their future. And we can see here where this happened March 27th this year. And they say private pilots come to the aid Nebraska flooding victims. And we can see here in the article it says that farmers in parts of Nebraska and Iowa have precious little time to move themselves from the floodwaters that rushed over their lands last week. So many left their livestock and last year's harvest behind. So we see as Mother Nature is, Earth is moving through I guess this age that we're going through now. Water is leaving one side of the earth to come to areas where the water is not normally found, and these waters are coming, they're flooding out the farms. It says now, as they watch the new lakes that overtook their property slowly recedes, some have a painfully long time to reflect. They lost so much, staying in business will be a mighty struggle. According to the article, it says across parts of the Midwest, hundreds of livestock are drowned or stranded. Valuables, unsold, stored grain is ruined in submerged storage bins, and fields are like lakes, casting doubt on whether they can be planted this year. So we see 2019, according to this article, say historic widespread flooding will continue through May. Well, we're in June now. You see here where the I guess this is the corn in the silos are being wasted or being ruined. It says 700 hogs drowned at one farm. But now here we see some more flooding of the homes. This guy here said many hogs drowned in the barn, in this barn. Maybe hogs should be outside. Had they been outside, they would not have drowned because they would have become stranded like a lot of animals has. And it says that 6 facilities holding about 3,000 pigs each. That's 6 times 3 is 9. That's 9 No, it's 6 times 3. For some reason, I tend to forget how to count as I ascend, consciously in my knowledge. I forgot to count. So 3 down 6 is 18. So that's 18,000 pigs. And no one was immediately able to reach the flooded buildings to see how the livestock fared. I can understand, farmers and all of that, the losing of the livestock, the losing of the harvest. But who are these livestock corn harvest feeding? Where are they going? From what I understand, they're going to China. Well, at least they was. I heard on one YouTube channel that China stopped accepting corn and soy a year ago. So, who are these farmers selling to? They're not selling to the American people. Like back in the day, farming only helped Americans in America, but now all the food is outsourced and sold to China. And people in America got to figure out how to eat off of what's left. So we see how in 2011, one farmer said, we thought we had the 500-year flood, the Noah's Ark of all floods. Sheldon, who also is the Fremont County supervisor, told CNN, we didn't file bankruptcy, but we went through some really tough times on the money side. He said they took every dime of money that they had, that the family had, to put the land back into production at the levels it was. Here, 8 years later, we're right back to square one. It's called insanity when you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And this is a photo taken by the South Dakota Civil Air Patrol. Shows flooding along the Missouri River. Now, he said this happened in 2011. It's 2019. So it's 2019, so that's 8 years later. 8 years later, you're coming up on your final year, the 9th year, which will be next year. And in the 8th year, you're losing all of your crops all over again. And see, like you said, when it happened the first time. Does it say when this crop was destroyed the first time? What year? I don't think it's saying. But either way, 2011, that's when he lost everything. 8 years later, he's losing everything again, and it's coming up on 9 years. Which is because there are 9 years in a cycle. And then you go back to 1 year to universal years. So this is his 8th universal year. And he's coming up on his 9th universal year. And losing everything all over again. We lose everything this year. So I wonder how they're going to fare out in 2020, which will be 9 years. And 9th year. As they say, one bushel of corn sells for $3.40. So just above 10,000 ruined, and bushels means around $35,000 in lost revenues. He said lost harvests aren't the only problem. He said it's unclear whether the fields will be good for planting this year. So what will happen in 2020 if they are not able to plant this year? He says this already was financially challenging. Midwest farm bankruptcies were up 19% last year from a year prior and the highest level in more than 10 years. Market conditions have been tough. The soybean sales have slowed through a trade war with China, a top buyer. So the trade war slowed the soybean. Soybean is used for everything on the planet. It's the corn they use for everything on the planet. Soybean, because you can drink soy milk, have the soy sauce, all these different things. And soy ain't, for what I understand, soybean is bad for your health. So this is the first decoding here, where I see the soybean, which is according in the movie Alien. Soybean is the alien, and the alien gets inside of the body, and we see when the alien passes it on. We have to think it would pass through the blood and whatever was in the blood and whatever, like the older movies. But when the YouTube original's origin, the aliens, all this blood, the aliens not pass that way, because when he splattered blood on the girl's face, I forgot her name, on her face, she wasn't infected. Because on the outside, you only infected when the alien, in the beginning, came out of the person's eye, because the alien is takes control of the whole entire brain, that it goes into the next victim's eye and affects their brain. But later on, you see that the first one that was in his brain, the second two, the alien wasn't in the two victims' brain. It wasn't there, so they didn't know where it was. Therefore, when they showed that how the alien got from the guy with the brown beard, he tried to put the alien into the girl named Benicia's mouth, but he was stopped when they compressed that room, and I guess she died. He didn't. He climbed out through the air vent, and he came to the pool, and the girl was there. Lana was there, and he infected Lana. They had to fight in the pool, and he infected her, and the alien came out of his mouth into her mouth and down her throat. That's how come when they checked the brain of the two people, they could not find the alien, because the alien left the brain and was in the body, was in her throat. So let me click on this advertising. So the soybean here in this article is the alien, because the soybean is soy sauce. Not her soy is not good for you at all. And I know the soy sauces, even though it tastes so good on food, which is how they get us. But I'm slowly but surely disciplining myself and getting away from eating these different food, I guess weaponized food that makes us sick. Okay, destroys our bodies. Okay, these, I guess this will be the National Guard bringing soldiers load bales of hay into wherever that is, something, Chinook helicopter. Airdrop to cattle stranded. Okay, so they're airdropping loads of bales to feed the stranded cattle flooding on Wednesday in Columbus, Nebraska. So they're bringing in the food to feed the cattle. Okay, and another thing that's been affected is insurance policies and other programs. Might help, but I doubt if that's gonna help. Well, insurance companies been making money for ever and ever and ever. Now it's time for the insurance company to start paying back monies. About 90% of Iowa's tillable acres are covered by crop insurance, and many of these coverages guarantee some revenue when planting is prevented. What they say about the soybean? Okay, on one hand, the guarantee is limited. Such policies typically will pay 55% of covered corn revenue and 60% of soybeans revenue, he says. So if you lost everything, but it's only going to cover 55 and 60%, you're working in the lab. So I don't see how that's going to help them. Now, this is a second look at the ruined crops in storage since they are harvested. Crop insurance doesn't cover these. So, but some farmers will have a separate blanket policy that covers buildings, machinery, equipment, and stored crops, Johnson said. But some farmers have blanket policies that do that. Even if farmers do have the separate policy, that doesn't mean they won't suffer losses. A $2 million blanket policy, for example, may have $10,000 deductible the farmers pays out of pocket. So these farmers are screwed. And regular American farmers, when they farm their own land to feed their families, that's another code that I see. These farms are going out to feed outsource to other countries, or farms in America where farmers are feeding their own families, as it was back in the day when I grew up in the cotton fields with my parents, with my mother, and the tobacco fields and all the other fields I grew up in. We could grow gardens and we could have farms to feed our own families. Back then, families were at the mercy of the weather, but the weather was never that merciful. You know what, I guess with the almanac, you know what time of the year to grow. But this is unusual, and it's for the most part, Earth, not Earth, yes, Earth, Mother Nature, doing, evolving, doing what Earth needs to do to take care of the human beings that live here, and animals, and insects. So that's it for this article right here. Let me close out my email was coming in. Okay, that's it for that article. So let's go back. Let's look at another article. Another article here is Destroy the Midwest Farming Industry. You see the silos devastated by uninsured flood. So they wasn't even insured. Then you got the tractors that I grew up knowing all well. Hard for the farmers. American farming crisis laid bare. So all of this, just click on it. Be flooded. All this farmland is being flooded. These nice farm homes are flooded. These are a lot of homes. Let's look at this one. See. My thing is, we're living in a time. Let's see what this is. Can't really pronounce that word, but Oha. Let's look at destruction as storms. Let's look at this one. It's just all the farmland, all this farmland where you have melanated people, ADOS, the sharecroppers, and the sharecroppers, all the land that was supposed to go to them, the 40 acres and a mule that went to these farmers. They have all this land that belongs to the melanated race of people, the Negroes, Aboriginous people, the sharecroppers or Negroes, who's already here, farming the lands, sharing everything they have, that those that immigrants that come over here. And now the immigrants that are here, they're doing all the farming and selling back to the countries where they came from, back in the 1800s, 1700s. There's a video that I've been watching, this guy explaining all of this. I forgot his name, but he does a lot of research and explains how all of this came about. But the land, this right here is, let's see, death, destruction, and storm rips through South Midwest. This is Athens, Alabama. Okay, let's see. I guess it's just going to show this guy here hugging his dog. Death, destruction. But anyway, now remember these back in the day. This is a road. The bridge is a little bridge across all this water. This water, see, it's just that I guess these are homes, whatever. But all this water, where is this coming from? The water is, as the earth moves through the photon belt, it's tilting, it's moving. All the water is going to the other side of the earth where you never see so much water. So it's not that the water is just, it's like back in the north that the water came down from the expanse and flooded the earth. That's not what's happening. The water is already here. So what the water is doing, it's moving from one side of the earth to the other side of the earth. It is the earth itself that is doing all of this. It's not heart, not people doing this. It's earth itself. And people, I guess they did all of this thinking it will last forever, while there are people on this earth that are starving, that are hungry, that are malnutrition. They take up all this land that belonged to the Aboriginal Negroes that was already here, who share the earth. There came over here, sharecropped, and took all the land, especially in the South. And what is happening here? This is like tobacco. This is tobacco. I'm fairly familiar that I grew up in the tobacco fields. Born and grew up in the tobacco fields with my mom. Carried us on a sack and she cropped that tobacco. That's how we grew up. We farmed our own lands. My grandma sold all her land to the people who built a prison on it down in Clinton County. So all of our land, we farmed our land and gave half of everything to the immigrants that came over here and lived among us. And we shared with them, showed them how to farm and everything. So it is what it is, but it's Mother Nature. It's Mother Nature doing her thing. And like I said, had none of this been here, what Mother Nature is doing would have happened anyway. Wasn't any of this was here. So that's it for this article, for this video. I just wanted to show a couple of decors I see in here. And the two that I took note of is the soy bean. Soy is bad for your health, and soy is in a lot. It is just about everything you eat. So what are we be forced to do? Go back to eating the food from the earth like it was intended. Like it was intended. Like it had been doing before the immigrants came over here in the 1800s. It changed, like 1865. It changed everything to make sure that the Negroes that are Aboriginal Negroes that are here farming the lands, they do paper, I guess we call paper, whatever. Do paper transfer the land from the people that owned it, and then prompt to sell it back, to give it back to them, 40 acres and a mule. Just a month later, through paper, take it away from them and give it to the farmers that own it now. So that's the first. So that's one of the codes, the soybean, and then the transfer of the land. And the third is Mother Nature is returning the land to where it can take care of the people here like it was before human beings decided to what we call capitalize everything. The thing about melanated persons is that they are very creative. We have a direct connection with source, and through that, whatever the situation is in front of us, we look at it and we find a way to take it and live our best life with it. But if you have persons that have a system in place to make absolutely certain that melanated persons don't come together, which in like young Pharaoh said in his video, Martin Luther King has successfully integrated the races of people. They have successfully been integrated. So, with that being said, we're in a time now where melanated persons, those are Adolph's lineage, those are the Negroes, Aboriginals, that were the original Indians, but were stripped of that title, and it was given to the lighter race, or given to the Caucasian race for $5, and get help and get the benefits of what happened to the earth, of what happened to their lands. That actually didn't happen to them. So the Negro race, the Adolph's race, the Aboriginal Indians, the colors, they were all labeled. Then the label was stripped and given to the Caucasian race, who owns all of the farming. But what's happening? Everything is returning to the way it was before the immigrants from Africa, Europe, Australia, wherever they come from, before they came over here and created what we have now. But what's it for melanated people to do? Take what's here. You have to unite, and we see a lot of stuff going on to keep melanated persons from uniting, such as police brutality, these dilapidated neighborhoods that they are confined to, and a whole lot of host of stuff. But we're in a time now where we, as the descendants of Adolf, the descendants of Negro slavery, the descendants of colored people, the descendants of Aboriginal Indians, who was stripped of the land and made to be slaves in the land. Coming up in 400 years, I think it's August 20, according to what they put in the Bible, that time is ending. So you don't have time to be paying attention, focusing on racism that's going on, all the sort of different distractions that's happening. We're not trying to be focusing on that. Yeah, that's out there and you see it, but you don't focus on it. You see the real picture. And the real picture is Earth is taking us back to where we was, especially here in America, to where we was before the immigrants came over and through paperwork all of the land and through the kindness of the sharecroppers, the Negroes, shared the land with them and then they took all the land. And now they are the farmers of the earth, but their farming doesn't help the descendants of those Negroes, those Aboriginal Indians, those Adolfs. It's not benefiting them in any way because they were here trying to figure out how to eat, how to survive. But now we know how to survive, so what are we doing now? Taking what is there, taking those lemons and making lemonade. And as well as the alien that is affecting everyone's body and making them sick, making them respond. And the alien is the weaponized food, such as the soy bean that's not good for you. It's the drugs, such as the marijuana with the synthetic in it. It is the prescription drugs that treats the aliens, such as diabetes, all these different diseases that people are getting, Alzheimer's. The medication that is treating those is the alien that causes the side effects, like heart trouble or going blind or whatever, which is also the alien. Every single thing that goes into the body that is making the body sick, be it the drugs, the opioid, the meth, be it whatever, it's the aliens. It's in that movie called Aliens. Movie called Origin. So, all we gotta do is do our part. All of us have a mission. And I'm learning my mission, figuring it out, and doing my part to help. As well as Lisa Cabrera is doing her part. As well as Shira is doing her part. As well as all the different YouTubes who have a niche on here is doing what they feel their mission is, to wake up the sleeping descendants, slavery, sharecroppers, Negro sharecroppers, colored sharecroppers, Aboriginal Indian that was here on an island called Turtle Island. That was renamed America after a man. Let's see, let me look that up. It was a man that America was named after. America named after. Okay. So apparently this is the guy that America is named after. And America is see, America. This is Christopher Columbus. But America birth certificate signed by Martin. so America has a birth certificate later. So let me see who the guy was. America was named after. An Italian explorer for Italy, I suppose. Let me go back here. So let me see here. There you go. So why was America named after Amerigo? All these names. Yeah, E.
Amerigo Vespucci.
Amerigo Vespucci. So America was named after Amerigo Vespucci, and a man from Italy with me, Italian. He came to Massachusetts and okay. Anyway, this is who America is named after. The naming of America after Amerigo Vespucci was just a bit capricious, but not entirely undeserved. I don't know. But anyway, it wasn't America. The name wasn't America when they got here. So let's see. Great. So let's see. So let's see who the name of America before he got here. Amerigo Vespucci. Name of America before America. So-called how America got its name. How America got its name. America, the man who gave America's name. It said on Amazon, so you can get these books on Amazon. So let me see the name, which I know the name of America. I'm going to look it up on here. See, you can see what it was before America, before Columbus. Let me see before. Let me see. It's going to say history of the USA, first Americans. Anyway. Okay, that's not going to give me what I'm looking for. Let me see what it says in here. I would probably have to put the name in it because I know what the name is. See what it says. Because I learned this information by watching YouTube videos of those who research and put information out there. So I come on here and look it up. Called Native Americans in 1497. Anyway. Let me see. Okay, I looked at that. I'm just skimming through this stuff, so if it's in there, I'm not seeing it because I'm not into all of that reading. I usually listen to the information that I need because all that reading ain't so grand on my eyes. So let me see. TRTL. Okay, Turtle Island. So I won't get that one. So this is Turtle Island, the Canadian Turtle Island, Turtle Island, Turtle Island, Australia, Turtle Island. They got a lot of turtle islands. Pacific Ocean. The great beginnings of the Turtle Islands. So let me go back. Okay, North America map. So let me see. Okay, Turtle Island, the original name. This is Canada. Pretty big. So let's see. So all of this is one big island. That's why it says Canada and all that other good stuff. So let's take a look at it. Connection is not private. Okay. So this is not private. TRRTLE. So why was it in private? So I guess it's not letting me go there. Not letting me go there. Okay, let's look over here. It says Turtle Island is a name for land in North America used by many Native Americans and First Nations people and by indigenous rights activists. So let me click on this. So Turtle Island is the name of the land in North America. North America is a continent entirely within the Northern Hemisphere and almost all within the Western Hemisphere. Western Hemisphere. It is also considered by some to be a northern subcontinent of the Americas. It is bordered to the north by the Arctic Ocean, to the east by the Atlantic Ocean, to the west by the South. I guess South Pacific. So as we can see from this Turtle Island, okay. They say Turtle Island is a name for land in North America in whole or part. So we see, let's look over here, North America. All of this is North America. And North America used to be Turtle Island. And Turtle Island once the immigrants came over here and or at least started making changes in the 1800s. They changed the name, probably changed it for that, but changed the name to the Americas. Then as they gathered, they started their, what do you call them, their, in the South where they started the, area, or they got the lands, the states, when they started the states. Then they all brought the states together and called it the United States. Because they took all the land and cut them into states. And then they took the states, took the island and cut them into little states. And then they called them, and they took all the Turtle Island, cut them in and called them the United States, brought them all together as one. And then they say United States of America, formerly Turtle Island. So that's where America got its name from. And we see here, this big globe, all this water. So I guess in this gray area is land. So all of this green is land. But this white got to be water. This green is land. So all of this green, Canada, all of this green was an island called Turtle. And as those came around, got here, they conquered all this land, cut them into, conquered them all and give them all little names. And they said, one guy, he said like Lynchburg, I think he said Lynchburg, Georgia, was named after Willie Lynch. That's how Lynchburg got his name, Willie Lynch. It's information that will make sense, but you don't really see the connection until somebody shows you the connection. So okay, so cut. I guess everybody, these immigrants that come over here, took pieces of the island, give them names within the island, and then each one of them gave these different counties into states: South Carolina, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas. All of these, Florida, all of these were lands that were occupied by the Aboriginal Native American Indians, or copper tone persons as myself, such as the Cherokee, who's my grandmother, great grandmother, her dad, my grandmother, my great grandmother, and my great great granddad. So my great great granddad, full blood Cherokee, from Charleston. So, but all that being said, we were always here. Yeah, during the history, they show some were brought here, because immigrants were brought here up here. A lot of black immigrants were brought over here. Just brought over here. They want to say, I guess, what Ben Carson says about some came over here in the belly of ships. I don't know about them being immigrants in the belly of ships, because and then the guy, I'm trying to remember his name. He said immigrants start with a E, which is different from the immigrants that we see now. Let me take a quick look that up. He says there are immigrants. Definition of immigrant. See, this is what he says starts with an M. A person who leaves the country where he or she lives to settle in another. So this is what those immigrants did. They left their country, Africa, Europe, Asia, wherever they come from, they came to Turtle Island to settle, and that's what they did. And then they got the immigrant with an I that a lot of people are using today. Says it means something totally different. So the definition of immigrant here is a person who enters a country of which he is not native to settle. So we see, and that's another decoding of these, that's a decoding of the immigrants that are coming here. The original immigrants, which are these farmers that's losing all their crops, their livestock, their lands, profitability, they are the immigrants with an E that came here to settle. And that's what they did. They settled and they took the land from the original Negroes. And what were the Negroes that were already here? So they say that the immigrants that are coming in now by the millions, those immigrants are not native to this, are not native to settle here. So why are they coming here? They are not native to settling here, but see, but the immigrants, they came here for the purpose of settling. So now the immigrant came here. Okay, now let's look at this called the difference between the immigrant and the immigrant. Let's take a look at it. The difference between, let me see how these words are pronounced right now so I can say it.
Immigrate.
Immigrate. Immigrate.
Emigrate.
Emigrate.
Immigrate.
Immigrate. Emigrate.
Emigrate.
Emigrate. Immigrate. Emigrate. So, it's not what I meant to do. I just saw that. So, come on, let's go back. Alright, I'll just click you off. Okay, so the difference between the immigrate and the emigrate is that immigrating is the act of entering a foreign country to live, while emigrating is the act of, and already settled. Okay, we said over here, emigrate equals leaving. They're leaving their country to settle here. And immigrant equals coming. They are coming here to settle in a land that they are not native of. They are coming. He's an emigrant. He's an immigrant. Travel. So the immigrant travels on this little dingy ship. Let's look at these pictures. Immigrant equals leaving. Immigrant equals coming. We saw that already. And it said flare. Okay, that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm trying to say. Anyway, this is, that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm trying to say. But anyway, immigrants, they come here to settle, which is what these farmers that are losing, where the water is coming in and they destroying the harvest, destroying the livestock, destroying their whole way of life. the emigrants. So they are the emigrants. And the immigrants are the ones that's just coming over here to live. And who are bringing the immigrants over here? Here's another definition on this right here. Wander or move. Emigrant, someone who leaves a place. Immigrant, someone who moves to a new country. Migrate, to move from one place to another. Migratory, a large population of animals that move from one place to another. So migrate, to move from one place to another. So my sister, she worked for what they call this migrate program for the last 30 years. So these migrant people, these migrate people, they move here from one place to another. They move into the south, then they move into the north, then they move into the west, then they move into the east. The immigrants are migrants that move here to settle into our land. They are not native. What is the immigrants? They just left, came over here and just took and just took the land from those who rightfully was there first. Then they got transmigrate, to be born into another body after death. Okay? I understand what that is, but that's not what we're talking about right now. So immigrant again from your home country. So these immigrants, there's 40 million of them are there since the 70s when they started coming in. And then millions of more are coming. So these immigrants, but let's go back and say the immigrant that came here, which according to this YouTuber that says those immigrants were peasants that were brought over here, that was moved here to settle, to basically replace the Negro, the Aboriginal Indians that was already here, to replace them to settle in the land and replace those that was already here. And then I'm knocking stuff down because I'm doing whatever. So they say they emigrate from their home country. Wow. Immigrants that are coming in now through Texas, through California, which they have basically more there than any other place in this, and then moving to all parts of Turtle Island or United States of America to another country. It's just that the immigrants moved from South Mexico, moved from South Central Africa, all parts of Africa. The immigrants are moving there to live in a land they are not native of, whereas those immigrants move from Africa, South Africa, Europe, whatever, who that the YouTuber called peasants were moved here to settle, period, to be natives of this land. But anyway, I was only going to do 35 minutes, but right now I'm at 64 minutes, which is an hour and 4 minutes. So I'm going to end this video here, and I will catch you on another video with more of Pixie Life Decoding.